Hey guys, welcome to a new video. We just got new announcement on the new changes to slam skills, and let's go ahead and go through them and see what we got. See what kind of changes they decide to make. It says, in Path of Exile Harvest, we've created a new category of skills called slams. We've introduced one new support and one new slam skill, with several existing skills have been recategorized as slams. So only one skill. Interesting. Today's news post reveals which skills are now considered slams, how they've been improved, and information about the new slam called Earth Shatter. So that's really interesting that there's only one support, which is what they did with Brand, but then there's only one new skill. Is that because there's so many slam skills they decided to adjust them all? Probably. This is, in general, we're looking to provide more support for two-handed playstyles and builds that hit slower but hit harder. These changes come alongside improvements to two-handed base types, more passive skill tree support, improvements to war cries, and more. Alright. The Fist of War support. Alongside our announcement of Harvest, we revealed the new Fist of War support that works with all slams except Vol slams and Ancestral War Chief. Every few seconds of an ancestor appears above your character and performs your slam in unison with you, creating a supercharged slam dealing much more damage with an increased area of effect. Creating a supercharged slam, dealing much more damage with an increased area of effect. So they'll slam at the same time as you, causing more AoE. Okay, got it. The following slam skill can be used with the Fist of War support: Ground Slam, Tectonic Slam, Earthquake, Earth Shatter, the new one, Sunder, Ice Crash, Consecrated Path, Proliferate, Leap Slam, Dorian's Touch from the Dorian's Fist unique item. Okay. Earth Shatter is a new level 12 skill attack that sends out 5 damaging fissures in all directions when you slam the ground. At the end of each fissure, a spike bursts from the ground and remains for a short time. If the spikes are in the area of another slam or war cry used by you or your allied partner, the spikes will explode, dealing damage to an area around them. The range of the fissures combined with the area of the exploding spikes ends up spreading damage over a large area, with explosions overlapping near the location you slammed. This sounds complicated. You can alternate between slamming with Earth Shatter and using a war cry, letting you kill enemies around you by detonating your spikes while simultaneously preparing to exert your next use of the spell or the skill. You can also easily leap slam into your spikes to trigger them while you move. Any exploding spikes can detonate other spikes near it, so you can leave a trail of spikes with repeated slams, then set them off for leaping them into one of them. Interesting. Tectonic Slam has received an impressive new visual effect and no longer uses charged slams. It instead counts endurance charges to grant more AoE and additional damage cracks in the ground. This improves the reward for investing in endurance charges by providing both a larger and more consistent AoE, and it now consumes an endurance charge every 3 slams rather than at the random 35% chance. The additional cracks that endurance charges generate can spread out further from the base impact and more deterministic. So instead of using the charges, which we learned from from the Warcry one, it's going to use endurance charges, similar to like what it does now, but instead of doing 35% chance every time, it's going to automatically do it on the 3rd cast. So, which that could actually be good, because sometimes you can get bad chances and you'll use endurance charge, endurance charge, endurance charge 3 times in a row. So this, you'll get 3 of them in a row, and then only the 3rd one will take an endurance charge. So that's actually a good change. I like that. Enhancements that previously granted a chance for a charge slam now grant an additional chance for cracks. Interesting. Perforate now provides flat physical damage that scales as the gem levels. Right? The distribution of its spikes and blood stance has been made more consistent. A higher percentage of its spikes should hit a small target. An investment in the area effect and or the number of spikes should keep this percentage of spikes hitting consistent. Sand Stance's base area starts off slightly smaller but increases as the gem levels. Perforate also provides 1 additional spike at all levels and also grants 2 additional spikes if you changed stance recently. That's a tongue twister in that paragraph. The issue with Perforate in the past was that in Sand Stance there were large gaps between spikes, which meant that enemies within those gaps would be missed. The extra spikes it now provides an additional AoE vastly improve the number of targets that can be hit by a single slam. Good. In Blood Stance, increased area of effect used to result in the loss of single target damage because the spikes are spread out too far, and the extra spikes from the Perforate enchantments would be placed outside of the range of most small enemies and therefore wouldn't contribute any damage to single targets. Yeah, so that's good. So now there's more spikes, so it's more consistent. These changes to Perforate improve the ability to hit enemies more reliable and with a better spread of damage. Yes, that's good change. So there's a buff. Sunder. As part of our effort to encourage slower and heavier hitting slams, Sunder has become a much wider and longer but slower cascade. Using Sunder will while one cascade is still in motion will cause the existing cascade to end prematurely. These cascades will always travel a minimum length, so you can still use Sunder effectively with multi-strike and fast-hitting weapons when close to enemies. It still releases shockwaves, which can overlap when they hit enemies. Leveling the gem no longer scales its radius, but instead scales its area of effect. Isn't that kind of the same thing? Okay. Overall, it now provides a better area of effect for slowing or for slower hitting weapons. Okay, good. So that's kind of a buff, I guess. Earthquake, Ground Slam, and Ice Crash, these skills are receiving numerical changes, which will be revealed later, closer to launch. In general, the idea is to make them greatly stronger. Okay, so they're generally stronger. So they're buffing all slam skills. Other slam skills. The other slam skills that are now categorized as slams are mostly unchanged, but have had their visual effects improved and can be used with the Fist of War support. Okay. Watch the video. Ah, there's the spikes. Interesting. This is the one with the fissures, and then he explodes them. That seems really slow. I mean, yeah, you can create lots of spikes and then blow them up, but I feel like this is really slow play style. Wow, that was a lot of AoE. Okay, that one's a little more reasonable. Whoa. Okay, that's a little better. Okay. And oh, before you go, you should also know that Ground Slam, Sunder, and Earthquake can also be used unarmed. Interesting. Alright, well, that's the changes to slam skills. Looks like they're getting a big buff. All around. Damage is increasing. They're changing some of the AoE to be larger, and then also along with the war cries, putting them together, gonna make their AoE like full screen I'm sure with some passives you could probably make it bigger in full screen. The only downside of this is it looks a lot slower because it is a slam skill. It's not a, you know, cast, run, cast, run, cast, run. It's a cast, slam, wait, blow up, then move. So that seems a little bit slower. Other than that, I mean, if you enjoy a slower pace, I think this will be a great thing for you. And the damage in AoE that's going to be associated with it is, we don't know for sure, but I'm assuming it's probably going to be pretty high because you got to offset how slow it is. Do you have any questions that, or have anything else to say about what you think about the slam skills? Post your comments down below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and ding the bell for future videos. We will have another video the next time they have another announcement. All right, until next time, peace.